All right. So interview preparation. This is gonna be like a. It's very simple, very easy to each to remember. Okay, and we'll go about it. So I'm gonna go to the job and I'm gonna look for a job. Okay, any job. So whose job should I? What job should I even? Can I pick somebody that is currently looking for a job?
Yes.
Onyekachi, what career path? Sorry,
Okay. Look for something on international trade finance.
trade finance. So, like I said, when you're looking at finance, so let me just say for finance, okay? Because trade finance might be just so niche. You're in Canada? You're in Calgary now? Yeah, I remember we
Yeah.
spoke yesterday.
Mm.
Yeah. So let's say finance, okay? So finance, you're looking at well, let me just look in Calgary, okay? Calgary and the environs, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Okay, finance ops specialist, financial planning, and financial analysis specialist. Like I said, you can always refine yourself to see how you can go into roles like this. Okay, so now looking at this, have you done it in your experience? Maybe not. Okay, but does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. Okay, so all you need to do is just remember to put yourself. I think there's something wrong with the website. You can see a lot of tags in there. Okay, give me a second. I'm not sure why there's those tags in there. So just give me
We
one
can we,
second.
okay. We can change. Okay, you can change it to credit risk.
Credit risk.
Yeah.
So okay. Okay. Just give me a second. I'm trying to take out something. How much now? Let's see. Okay, I think that should work now. 100%. Okay, so okay, still the same thing. So okay, I think that's the way they brought it in essentially. So support the development. Okay, you said you're not looking at financial analyst or anything else to do with financial analysis, correct?
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, you're looking at more towards risk, yeah,
Yeah.
risk analyst,
Hmm.
or is it risk? Is it a risk analyst? You said.
Yes. Risk and credit risk. It's all It's all same. On that same framework. Yeah. Credit risk. Credit analyst. Risk management. They're all on that same framework.
Risk. There are different. There are so many type of risk. Okay. So, but I mean, looking at risk alone in Calgary, for example, this is where you don't get a lot of opportunities. Okay. Like I said, credit in Nigeria is not like the credit here. Okay. The way you do credit, the way people apply for loans and all those things, it's not basically the same. So if you're looking for that same job title here in Canada, it might not just work. Okay. So that's why you need to reevaluate what kind of career path you want to go into. Okay. So the credit risk in Nigeria now, you're working with a bank, okay, and you are assessing, loan. Is it loan? Is it just loan? Or what else would you be doing?
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Not just loan. There are those, of course, in equipment financing, um, underwriting, and all of
Yeah.
those.
So like
They all fall under this.
so it's not going to be. I don't unless you look at maybe the likes in Toronto because majority of the headquarters will be in Toronto. Okay, that's that's what I would say. Toronto. Okay, you
Yeah.
probably would see a bit more credit risk, portfolio analyst, fixed income analyst, credit risk analyst. You will likely see in the head office. You won't really see in their sub-lease offices or their, but majorly like in the head office. So if you're looking at getting into credit risk now, for example, CIBC, you really can see that credit risk. Okay, and the way the credit works here is so much different from the one in Nigeria. Yeah, they won't be chasing you up and down to and bad debt and all that. I mean, it's attached to your credit score. So if you don't even pay, like they know exactly how they. I mean, at any point in time, if money comes into your account, they know they are aware. All right, so I mean, that's that. Okay. So if I'm saying you should look at anything, if you're looking at risk, either analytics, focus on just the pure analytics aspects. So
Okay.
if it is risk analyst, you can fall inside. If it is operations analyst, you can fall inside. If it is financial analyst, if you have a bit of financial background, you can fall into it. So cast your net so wide. Okay. So once you get a job, and you can work on that job and you're doing that job, then you can now sit down and start to look for the niche areas that you want to get yourself into. Take, for example, I always wanted to work as a data scientist, but my first job was business intelligence. So I did all this business intelligence before I was able to get my job as a data scientist. Then I got into data engineering. Then I was able to move from data science to data engineering. But getting the first one, I would say cast your net wide. Once you have one, a bread in hand is better than two in the bush. Okay, so look at getting something first. Okay, look at getting a job in the financial space, and you might just be surprised that the one that you get is even so interesting that that's exactly what you're going to get yourself involved in. Okay, like myself again, I never felt like I wanted to get a job in supply chain. Always wanted to work in FMCG. That's literally where I felt like I could add more value. But funny enough, I did supply chain, and that's exactly what I loved it so much that that's where I just decided to stay in. All right, so let's go back to our stuff. Okay, so Calgary financial. So let's just go with one of them here. This is financial planning and analysis specialist. This is 80 to 100K. So the salary just now. Where did he go to? Okay, let's look for something else. All right, let's take this. Okay, so this is what this role. Let's take for example, you applied for this role with critical mass, and you got selected. Okay, you get selected and they want to speak to you. Okay, so what do you do? Okay, remember, number one thing, even before you apply for the role, is you need to tailor your experiences to fit into what they are looking for. So essentially, you need to become a chameleon. Okay, you need to tailor your own experiences. Okay, your past experience, you need to tailor your past experience into what they are looking for. So what they say they are looking for, they are looking at your CV and they can see it. That's exactly what we're talking about. Now, does this mean that all the things that you did in the past, is it useless? So someone like Onyekachi that has always worked as a credit risk analyst, that they really didn't do a lot of financial analysis, he didn't do a lot of revenue and expense management, he didn't do all these things, he didn't do any of these things. Does it mean his credit analyst experience is it useless? Yes, it is useless. Not useless in the real sense of useless, but that's not what they are looking for. They are not looking for a credit risk analyst. Okay, they are looking for a financial analyst that knows how to do what? Analyze and communicate results, revenue and expense management, cross-departmental collaborations, billing and invoicing, time tracking oversight. This is what they are looking for. So all those fancy stuff that we are done in our past experience that we are so proud of, is it important in the role that you're getting yourself into? No, it's not very important. It's not important. These guys are looking for people that can do what they are looking for. Now, the key question here is there are two types of questions they're going to ask you during an interview. There are two types of questions they're going to ask you during an interview. Where's my pen? Okay, I'm sorry. There are two types of questions, majorly two types. I'm looking for my pen. I don't know where I dropped. Okay, yes, sorry. So there are two types of questions they're likely going to ask you during an interview. Let me just bring in a PowerPoint so it's easy for me to. Uh, okay. I am being a whiteboard. Google usually has a whiteboard. So let me just bring in a whiteboard. Okay. I'm just you. PowerPoint. No time to waste time. No time to check time. No time to check time. Non presentation. And voila. Okay. All right. So when you have an interview, you have an interview coming up that there are some things that you need to prepare for. Okay. There are some things you need to prepare for. Number one question they're likely going to ask you is, tell me about yourself. Okay. This question is likely going to come out. One, it's not like it's most likely, it's going to be the first question that's likely going to pop out. Now, tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself could come out in different situations like, oh, can you tell me about, can we get to meet you? Okay. Can you talk more about your experiences? Can you explain, can we get, it could come out in any other way apart from tell me about yourself. Okay. Oh, welcome to today's interview. Thank you so much for joining the call. We really appreciate you taking our time to join the call. My name is Ifemena Epro. I am the something leader. Currently, we're currently recruiting for the role of a blah 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 blah. We saw your profile, and you do have good experiences that ties to the role itself, and that's the reason why we're having this meeting. On this call is Grace, Doyin, Raymond, and Onyekachi. Okay, they are also going to be part of the interview process for this particular role. All right, so let me ask you, Raymond, can you talk? Can we get to meet you also? It's as simple as that. So it's not going to be what we are used to is talking about our experiences from bottom to the top. So when I started my experience, I started working as a business analyst. So I worked in that role for 4 years, and when I finished this role, I moved to the next role. To that role, I started working as a senior business analyst. In this role, I was able to do the extraordinary. From that role, I moved from that role to the next role, which is an enterprise business analyst. In this repetition of what they have in front of them already. Okay, so we usually would do that, and we freestyle that answer. That's the way I've always answered those questions. Tell me about yourself, repeating all my past experiences and to where I'm at this point in time. But that's the wrong way of answering interview questions. Very terrible way, I would say. All right, and there's an acronym I want to teach you guys today that you shouldn't forget, and it is called SEAT. SEAT. I take a seat. That's basically it. Okay, seat. Okay, SEAT. Okay, now what is seat? Seat basically is referring to us. Number one thing, your skills. Number two, which is E, is your experience. Number three is achievement. Okay, and number four, which is T. Okay, I'll give you two T's so that it's easy for you to remember. Sit, double T. Okay. This one is tied together. Tie it to the role. And this also is traits. I'll call it traits. Now you might be asking yourself, how do I remember this? It's very simple. Okay, very, very simple. So skill, experience, achievement, tied to the role, and traits. Now, first thing first, let's talk about the first thing that you have there. Okay, the first thing that you have there, skill. Let's start with skill. Okay. All right, let's start with skill. Let's start with skill. Now, this skill, what is the skill that you're looking for? This skill, okay, is not all the skills that you have. It's not the skills that you have currently. Oh, I know how to use Excel. I know how to use Power BI. I know how to use Trello, Jira. I know how to blah, blah, blah. All the things that you feel comfortable using and you're very good at. That's fantastic. That's brilliant. But now on the job description, they've told you exactly what skills they are looking for. They've told you exactly the skill sets they are looking for. Okay, so a degree in computer finance, that's just bullet points. 2 to 3 years experience in finance. Okay, exceptional skills, particularly Microsoft Excel, Outlook, and PowerPoint. Okay, so Excel is like a major skill. like a major tool that they are working with, Outlook and PowerPoint. I mean, those are just basics. Okay. Experience with Microsoft D65, that's Microsoft 365 equivalent for accounting systems, is considered an asset. So you might want to go exactly. So now these are the key skills that they are looking for. Okay. And so they have so many other things. They're writing, verbal, those ones are like generic, you don't need to mention it. But essentially, those are the key skills that you need to also talk about. Okay. So you might add Jira to it. Okay, you might add about maybe other things that you've done in your past, other skills that you've gathered in your past experience, but speak specifically to the skills that they are looking for. Okay. Oh, thank you very much for that. Thank you so much for that introduction. My name is Ifemena April, like you rightly said. In terms of skill, what I'm looking at, when I was really excited about this particular role, and that's because my skills tie exceptionally to the role that was listed. When you're talking about Excel skills, I have a ton of experience leveraging Excel for reporting, financial analysis, financial modeling, so on and so forth. So basically, tying it to the role that you are applying to. Speak to the skills that you have and how it aligns to the role. Okay. The next thing is experience. Okay. Now, you've done so many things as a credit analyst. Is it important? It's not important because that's not the experience that they are looking for. They are looking for experience in financial and accounting, and reporting and analyzing, communicating revenue, and so on and so forth. All right. And that's exactly what you have over here. Okay. So the experience that you need to talk about is what they have on their job description, and you have tailored it to yourself. So even if you've not done it before, you need to figure out a way to position yourself as somebody that has done it before. Okay. So that's basically the case. So, and that's where the experience comes in play. Then the next thing is also achievement. Okay. Achievement is what you have there. Okay. You also need to talk about the things that you achieved. Okay. So while I was working with this particular organization, I was able to build a financial model that led to us acquiring the company, which led to a revenue jump of over 300%. That's an achievement. Oh, I built a financial report that was able to detect cost leakages. Based on this report, I was able to identify cost areas where the business was losing money. And after the report, I was able to help the company recover a certain amount of money, okay, or something. So those are key achievements that you need to also outline when you are doing an interview. Now, the next thing also is tied to the role. And that's basically what we have here. So when I talked about your skills, I talked about experience, and I talked about achievements. That's basically what I'm talking about. Tie it to the role. Okay, tied to the role. It's very important. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it wrong. Don't feel like, oh, they will take me for who I am. It doesn't work that way. All right. Tie it to the role. Okay. So whatever they say they're looking for, please, you are that person. You are that person. Don't be another thing. Don't be yourself. Don't be yourself. Don't get it twisted. Okay. Don't get it twisted. Don't say that, oh, I'll tell them I've done credit risk before. It really doesn't happen like that. I'll say tie it to the role. And last but not the least is trait. Okay. The last but not the least you have here is trait. So I usually like to use this my personal experience to expatiate trait. So trait basically is you just saying something that would soften the interview. Interviews is hard for yourself and also the person that are doing the interview. Okay, so they will try to make it soft for you, but you also, this is where you make it soft for yourself. So if you know the person that is going to be interviewing you, I would say you should research about the person. Okay, so know what the person likes, what the person does, or if there are things that you can do to find out. So you can go on LinkedIn, you can search anywhere, honestly, Facebook, anywhere to know the person. Thankfully, Facebook will not tell them that you checked their profile. Okay. So the one I did that it worked so well for me was, I person was training for a marathon. So during the interview process, I also said I was, I love to jog. I didn't say I was training for a marathon. But I told the person I love to jog. In real fact, I used to do, I jog. I do a lot of running. So the person was like, oh, are you serious? like you could literally see the face of the person turn, like from interview mode to let's talk about something fun. Do you understand? And that's exactly what it is. So it could be you talking about, oh, if I'm not marketing for professionals, I honestly enjoy barbecue. I love to barbecue. I love to have fun. I love to do things, but that's something fun, something soft, something to bring people, like something that would soften the tone of the interview, something that they can relate with. Okay. So if I'm not, if I'm not doing trade finance and I'm not doing credit reporting, oh, I love to hike. Okay. Hiking is something hiking is that's something that they love to do here in Canada. So hiking and what else? Hockey, and I mean those are like the two major things that all of them are talking about. Barbecue. Those are like the major things. If it's not amongst those things in Canada, I don't know what else they are doing. Okay. So I mean, talk about how you love to barbecue, how you love to that's straight. Okay. And it's very important because like I said, it softens the tone of the interview. So these are the things that you need to understand when you are going through a tell me about yourself. Okay. Now, the best way for you to answer this question is what I've said to you. Okay. Now let's use ChatGPT to let's use ChatGPT to answer some of these questions. Okay. So it's easy for you to come up with your own at your own time. So it's not like, if Ifemena, how do I use this at my own time? I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. So I'm just going to bring in ChatGPT. So now there are two things that you need. Okay. You need the job requirement. Okay. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy it from top to the bottom. I'm going to take it job to the bottom. So yeah, what we offer. I'm going to take it. Okay. And I would go back to ChatGPT and I would say, currently preparing for an interview. Okay. Currently preparing for an interview and need you to come up with tell me about yourself answer. Using the seat approach. Okay, so seat basically is skills, experience. It's easier for you guys now, honestly. At the time when we started, honestly, we had to learn these things manually and come up with these things with our head. Okay, title row. And trait. And trait. So I'll say here is the job description. I won't take too much of your time today. I mean, Thursdays are usually like if tomorrow, now Friday, I can spend the whole day here. Okay, but Thursdays are, I mean, it's closer to Friday, so people's mind is not. So now, tell me about yourself, seed framework, using the job description. Remember, there's a reason why you're adding the job description. Because whatever you've done before, all the fancy stuff you did as a credit analyst, financial professional, whatever, is fantastic, but that's not what they're looking for. Okay, they are looking for this type of professional. So that's where you talk about it. Okay, my name is this, and I bring a strong foundation in financial analysis and budgeting, forecasting, and data reporting, combined with advanced proficiency in Excel, Power BI, and ERP tools. I am also skilled at bridging financial data and business insight, translating numbers into stories that drive smarter decision. Can you use this for another interview? No. Should you use this for another interview? No. And that's because this has been tailored to this particular organization. So most people feel like interviews are just, let me just go there and go and freestyle now. Not be interview, not be to talk. I will talk. Okay? I will talk and I'll say the things I can say. But going for an interview is actually very strategic. It has to be very strategic for you. And as I tell most people, the more interviews that you go for, the more you become better at interviewing. So if currently you're not doing a lot of interviews or you're not talking to a lot of potential, recruiters, employers, I would say please try putting yourself out there. Because if you say you're waiting for yourself to become better, I want to learn the skills so they will know I can do the job. It doesn't work that way. Because people that are people that are getting the jobs at the moment are people that are not even doing half as much as you. It's just that they are putting themselves out there. Okay. So basically talk about the skills, talk about experience. Over the past year, I have worked in fast-paced, cross-functional environments where I manage revenue forecasting, expense tracking, client profitability analysis. So basically, the things that they are looking for. Okay, so your experience, forget all those your fancy experiences; they are fantastic. But now, this is what you know. This is what you've done in your past experience. Now, look at achievement. One of the key accomplishments was streamlining the monthly reporting process, which reduced turnaround time by 30% while improving accuracy and feasibility for leadership. I also supported the development of a billing and utilization dashboard that helped our finance and operations team identify underperforming projects early and optimize resource allocation. Now, this is tailored to the role that you're going into. Tied to the role. So, what makes you excited about the role? What excites you? What excites me about the role? About the financial analyst position at Critical Mass is how closely it aligns with my background, particularly the focus on revenue, expense management, cross-departmental collaboration, and project efficiency analysis. So basically, putting everything together. So even though you've not done this before, that's why you want to do it anyways. So trait colleague describes trait. So basically, this is not it's not giving me what I'm looking for here. So trait is you coming up with something that's fun, exciting, something soft, like I said earlier. All right, does this make sense, guys? Are you guys learning something today?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Only one person. Okay, Matt. Okay, you catch him. Okay, thank you very much. So this is one of the key things that you need to do. It's very simple prompt. So according to prepare for an interview, I need you to come up with tell me about yourself answer. Okay, using the seed approach. Here's the job description. Paste the job description, and it's gonna give you something that you can use, a template that you can use. So it's not for you to take it hook, line, and sinker. Okay, 100%. I take it. Okay, this is my this. You can adjust it to your own tune. Okay, so it's not for you to take it. Okay, I sound like a robot. It's for you to take it and streamline it into what you're looking for. All right, so that's that. Okay, so tell me about yourself. It is skills, experience, achievement, and tie it to the role. Then you have trade, which is like an extra. Okay, so if I'm not doing financial analysis, if I'm not doing business analysis, if I'm not doing any of the things I've talked about, I love to read a good novel. I love to cook. I'm a great cook, and that's something I love to do. Most times, I would say, even though the hobbies of the person you're going to meet, please tie it to their own hobby too. Their hobby is your hobby. When you get the job, you can switch your hobby. Okay. Yeah. Any questions so far? Any question? Any question? Okay, no questions. That's okay. That's fine. All right. So moving on to the next thing. Okay. Interview questions. So that's the first type of question I think most likely I'm going to ask you. And the next one is when you're going for an interview, there's another one we call um, scenario-based questions. Scenario-based questions. Now, looking at this particular role, critical mass. Okay, we're still using this as a yardstick. This person will not ask you about your credit risk analysis background. That's not what is important for them. What's important for them is can you do the job we want you to do? So the scenario questions they're going to ask you are going to be tied to the role. Okay, they're likely going to be tied to the role. So most times I will take this question, I'll take the JD. Okay, I'm just from top to bottom. Okay, I'll take the stuff from top to bottom. Sorry, give it a second. Yeah. All right. So I would say that the same thing. You are an interview expert, and I need you to come up with 10 10 interview questions that will come out that might come out 10 interview question based on the job description below. Okay, so I'm asking you to come up with 10 interview questions. I could ask for more, but I'm just going to ask for 10. So 10 interview questions based on the job description. So these are like the top 10 based on the job description. It's going to give you top 10 questions you can use to prepare. Okay, Grace, I can see your hand is up. You have a question?
Yes, I have a question. Looking at how interviews play out here, you get first is a phone interview with maybe the recruiter, and then it moves to the one-on-one interview either with the hiring manager or the hiring team.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of answering the question and the depth of the information that you give, is it the same thing? Should the strategy for the phone interview, is it different? Should it be different from when it's one-on-one with the hiring manager and all the rest? So can you provide clarity on that as well?
Very, very brilliant question. Okay. The strategy should not change, honestly speaking. Interviews are interviews. HR, the first call. I think there's a feedback from. All right, we'll catch you your microphone. Apologies. All right, so the HR interview usually would last for 30 minutes, maximum, ridiculously 30 minutes. That's the first, if the recruiter calls you or HR calls you, that would probably take 30 minutes at the maximum, okay? So basically that person is just, most cases, they're ticking the boxes, okay? So do you have experience doing financial analysis? Yes, you'll take it. Okay, do you have experience working with Power BI? Yes, they'll take the answers. But, yes or no answers are not sufficient enough. So you still need to tell them where and how you've done it before. Okay, so first level interviews, tell them about yourself. You don't have to go as detailed because most times they are impromptu calls. Okay, so in my own cases, I don't like to take impromptu calls. Okay, I'm not the kind of person that you call me immediately and only if I know 100% once the person tells me the role, can you tell me more about the role? Okay, and the person tells me more about the role, then if I feel I can do it, I will do it. If I feel like I'm capable of doing it, but most times I'll tell the person, "Oh, it's not a good time. Can you call me back in an hour's time or 2 hours time for me to prepare enough to answer the questions?" So for even HR level interviews, I would say you should still prepare and answer questions the way you would answer it during the interview. So if they ask you questions like, "Oh, do you have any experience working with Facebook Manager, Ads Manager?" Don't just say yes. Okay? Say, "Oh, yes," say yes, and tell them where you've used it. Or in my experience working with different startups, launching products or launching this for different startups, where I've used Google Ads Manager or I've used Facebook Manager, Ads Manager to manage, sales funnel for different clients across the world. And the last one I can think about is one of my clients currently based within the Alberta region, currently launched the product. I ran a campaign for this particular product, and I would say that in the first month of launching the campaign, we did over 150,000 sales. Yes, that just basically doesn't just show them that you know how to use Google Ads Manager, but also tells them that you have experience and there's an impact that you've done. Okay, so it puts you at a serious advantage in that first instance. And in the same way, if you're able to go for an interview, okay, the proper interview, that's with the hiring manager, the same thing, you answer the question the same way. I don't know if that answers your question, Grace.
Yeah, that works. Thanks.
That works. Okay, fantastic. So now let's move on. Okay. So we requested for 10 interview questions based on the job description. So we've copied and pasted the job description. That's everything from critical mass, and it came up with 10 questions. And you'll find out something very interesting. These questions are scenario-based questions. They are scenario-based questions. And that's why I tell most people that are looking at transitioning into a career path or getting a job. Okay. There's nothing like entry-level job anymore. In the market, there is nothing like entry-level job. There's absolutely entry-level jobs are extinct. They're like dinosaurs at the moment. Okay. You can't really get entry-level jobs. And the last time I think I was talking to Doyi, and Doyi, the question I was asking was, if you have a clothes, you have a party this weekend or maybe next month, okay, or for your Christmas party, you want to sew a clothes, and somebody calls you and say, "Oh, Doyi, I just finished my fashion designing school. I want you to I want to sew your clothes. I want to show you, and you buy the materials quite expensive and everything. You would likely not give that person." Okay, and that's the same thing with most offices right now. And that's the reason why everywhere you go to, you see minimum 2 years, 3 years of experience. Basically, they're looking for people that have experience to come into the organization. And how else would I know if you have experience or you don't have experience? How else would I know? I would ask you a scenario-based question. Okay, so I am the hiring manager. I know what I'm expecting for you. I'm expecting from you to do on a day-to-day basis. I would ask you questions. Oh, can you walk me through your process of reviewing and communicating financial results to non-financial stakeholders? So now you are a financial analyst. You should have experience reporting financial metrics to non-financial stakeholders like the CEO, the CIO, investment officer, or let's say the chief innovator officer, chief compliance officer. These people are not finance people. Or how do you communicate that? So how do you communicate that? Can anybody guess? How do you communicate this?
Through dashboards.
Through dashboard. Fantastic, Okwesi. Okay, so reporting visualizations, having a report, visualizations, and so on and so forth. That's one of the best way of showcasing stuff to non-financial or non-technical stakeholders, essentially. But now, do you answer that question with, "Oh yes, I have experience"? Yeah, can you walk me through? Okay, yes. Do you just talk, or do you just freestyle your answer? So now that's where it leads me to the next thing I'm going to be teaching you guys, and that's where you use the STAR technique. Okay, you use the STAR technique. STAR. STAR. SCAR. S for situation. Okay. T for the task you performed. A for the action you took. And results for the result of all the things that you did. Okay. Now you'll find out that I said the situation you found yourself, the task you performed, the action you took, and the result you got. Please, when you're answering to scenario-based question, or they call it situational-based question. So is it a scenario or situation? Situational-based questions. Please make sure it is you. I don't ever go, unless they ask you, have you worked in a team before? If that question did not talk about team management or working in a team or collaboration and all that, it is I. There's nothing like, oh, I worked on a project. I worked as a member of a project where I was part of the team that we were able to no we's when you're answering these questions. No we's. Unless they asked about collaboration, they asked about if you're capable of working in a team and you have to share a scenario where you have worked in a team. That's when you say we. Okay. And that's exactly what you need to have at the back of your mind. It is an I situation. I, please, always I. I was able to, I did, please be selfish with your experiences. So star is situation, task, action, and results. Do you let me take your questions before I go ahead to showing you how to answer this question.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Efemina. My question is this, because when I went for an interview, I was faced with this scenario-based, situational-based question. But the thing is, because I'm familiar with this STAR approach, so I was able to, but I want to ask you, is it that when you're actually using the STAR method, do you have to like indicate like at the start, okay, what was the situation? And then you say it, and then you go on, okay, so the task was, and then you say the action. Do you need to itemize them like that at the opening of each?
Also, very brilliant question. And I'm pretty sure I would say over 80% of people here will have that same question. All right, so it's very valid. Now, you don't need to mention this was the situation, this was the task, this was the action. You don't need to do that. So you just tell it. It's a story. So basically, you are trying to tell a story. Okay, not just any type of story. You're trying to tell a juicy, okay, story. Okay, a sweet, juicy story. All right. So essentially, now taking this into consideration, can you walk me through your process for reviewing and communicating financial results to stakeholders? Let's take this particular one. Let's say you've never done it before. Okay. I'm gonna paste it here, and I'm gonna say, can you come up with an experience within so whatever industry you say you work in. So someone like Oyikachi worked in the bank. So within the banking industry, okay, especially within the let's say banking industry, can you come up with an experience within the banking industry to answer the interview question below? Okay. So this is the question now. So now ChatGPT is going to take a look at the question. Okay, now, sorry, let me just, okay, it's using the situation. I didn't specify STAR technique, but it's using the STAR technique already. All right, here's a strong banking based STAR approach. Okay. So, and that's basically what you have there. So do you know what I'm going to do? Sorry. I'm just going to keep it to style on no seats. It's looking at my past conversation and it's using that as a yardstick. Question below. Use the STAR interview technique, STAR, STAR, interview technique to answer. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So use STAR. I don't need you to use seats. Okay, just style in. All right. So looking at my banking experience, I worked in a bank. We actually worked in the bank. I mean, so using his banking industry, I want to come up with an answer to this particular question. Can you walk me through the process for reviewing, communicating financial results and not? So that's the question. Now, this situation, from my own, anytime I go for an interview, okay, I usually make these situations a bit more dire than normal. I make it dire in the sense that I make it worse than normal. So now, in this kind of situation, in my previous role as a financial analyst at a mid-sized bank, I would never say mid-sized bank. I would never say, even if it is a microfinance bank with just one location in Enugu, okay, I will never say it's a small scale. No, even if it's just one branch in one local government in Inewi, I would say, oh yes, as a financial analyst, leading, with one of the leading, banking, conglomerates that covers the that covers the northern and southern hemisphere of the Western Africa. I would have to put my experience in a way that it makes, like, I'm not coming from a small experience. I'm coming from somewhere big. So my previous role as financial analyst, leading or working with one of the largest banks out of Africa, okay, covering sub-Saharan and also some European, Middle East countries, okay. I was responsible for preparing monthly financial performance reports for the retail product division, which included current account, savings, and personal loans. The business heads were highly experienced bankers, but not necessarily finance experts. And because of this, now add my own jala, okay, I would add my own extra. And because of this, okay, they were missing out on certain investment opportunities, or they were losing out so much money in certain cost areas, okay, that they were losing millions of dollars to because of their lack of capacity on understanding financial metrics or financial data. Okay, so it was crucial that I presented financial insight in a way that would support their operational decision to ensure that everything has to do with finance, they understand 100%. Now, what have I done? I've made it a bit more dire. They're losing money, okay? And they don't know they are losing money because they don't understand. They don't understand financial reporting. They don't understand all the financial mumbo jumbo. They don't understand it. So you see, the first thing I did was I needed to get and analyze the division's revenue, expenses, profitability. I needed to identify key cost drivers, variances, and communicate results to non-financial stakeholders. So, once I'm done with this, I consolidated all the data. So you see, I don't need to mention the task, the action. You see how I moved from task to action. And most times, task and action, you can lump them up together to see how everything works. You can lump them up together as one, okay? So for action, I began, consolidating data from the core banking and general ledger systems into Excel and Power BI for reporting. And you talk about the fancy things you did, using reporting, takeaways, and all that, visualizations and all that. So now, based on that, I was able to, did I put T again in the star interview techniques, ratio and tax? Okay, so that's it. The results, always metrics driven. Okay, always metrics. Add numbers to your results. Always add numbers. This structured approach improved understanding across departments and led to more data-driven decision. As a result, the retail division reduced expense overruns by 8% within 1 quarter, and senior leadership recommended. You can talk about percentages. You could also use actual numbers, save the business $100,000 in the first half of the year, okay, based on this particular report in cost, okay? So those are the things that you need to specify. So situation. So when they ask you questions like, do you not use Trello as a project manager? Don't answer yes or no. Okay, answer yes, but use experience to answer that yes. Oh, yes, I know how to use Trello. Okay, and while I was working as a project manager with this particular organization, this particular thing happened. Okay, talk about the situation. It was difficult for us to track all the team members, who was productive or who was not productive. And because of this, it was costing the business over 80 hours at the end of the week across staff on time unaccounted for across different projects. Okay, so the business was losing out time. Okay, so you see, don't just say, okay, in that situation, like I said, make it as dire as possible, make it as bad, make it bad. Please make it bad. Feel free to make it bad. The better you make it, the better you are. All right, so that's the situation, task, action, and results. Now, this is not your own experience, but you can take it as your own experience. Okay, you can take it as yours, use it as yours. Feel free to use it as yours. Okay, you didn't do this in your experience as a banker, but please, if you go for an interview, you can talk about this as though you did it yourself. Okay. Okay, so it's just you rebranding yourself. Okay, does that make sense, guys? So there are quite a number of things that you will do that you feel very good when you get a job. Okay, I don't know if this makes sense or if there is any other thing.
Yes, it does make sense.
Any question? Okay.
Yeah, my question is not, it's not a question really. It has to do with this CV Matchly. I just managed to get through that free 1 month subscription as well, as you were on tonight. So tomorrow then I'll be able to put my CV through it.
Okay. So what exactly would you need from me now? Anything?
I wrote down the process as you were telling us yesterday.
Okay.
Google Chrome extension, then CV. I already have the CV Matchly anyway. .ai. Add to it's the pin one. Add to
That's it.
what do I? Okay, I add the CV Matchly website to my Chrome. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. That's all. Okay. Do you know what? Just give me 5-10 minutes. I'm almost going to be done, so we can address this in a few minutes. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. IODG. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly. Yes.
Yeah, I live in Ontario, Canada, and I've been having this frustration. My goal is to be how will I call it, to go easily. That was my thinking initially when I started last year. I work as housing worker. I work with government, but again, my main goal, I want to be how will I call it, IT audit or compliance auditor, which actually very close to my current job. But again, it's been very frustrating. And is it possible for me to have one-on-one session with you? Last year, I wrote CISA, I'm equally CISA certified. But again, it's been rough and tough to get this job. I was thinking maybe, I got interviewed on occasion of times, about 3 or 4 times. But I was thinking maybe because of my age, I'm almost 60 now. So I don't know, maybe that could be a factor. I don't know.
Age is usually not a factor most of the time. Most of the cases, age is not a factor. All right. So we can have like we'll look at. The stuff this week is very busy for me. So to be honest with you, I would say we should look at maybe sometime next week. Okay.
No,
You're still on, okay. So we can look at doing this maybe sometimes next week.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Angela. I'll take Angela next.
Thank you. Thank you for the session. Although I came in late because of work. So 2 things. I was able to use the STAR technique to be able to get some answer some questions recently. But like I explained earlier on the experience thing, because it was kind of an internship bootcamp that I used, translating those experiences like for a lengthy time, it keeps me on my toes. So I don't know. I'm still interested in getting that experience with Amdari, so I can, it's just for me to build more confidence and competencies. So whatever I'm saying, I know I can. I actually did it, and I can embody the role. And then secondly, I tried the CV Matchly thing. Yes, I don't know if your assistant had gotten to you, and I was charged on my card.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did.
So I just wanted to bring that to you, but it's okay. That's my question. Okay.
All right. So so you don't have to use only Amdari. Okay. You can leverage you can leverage your past experience, all the places that you worked before.
Okay.
You can leverage them in telling the story. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what I'd say. So if you take, for example, you've worked, let's say Amdari is your current place of, let's say you're working on Amdari at the moment. Okay. So Amdari is your current place of work, but in the past, maybe you're working with, let's say, as a customer service.
Standard Bank.
Standard Bank, Nigeria. Okay.
Yes.
And after before Standard Bank.
UBA.
Okay, so UBA, and let's say these three is enough actually. Okay, so
Okay.
let's say you're here for 2 years. You're here for 2 years, and currently this is what you're doing. Maybe in the last, like maybe
2
3 months
years. Two. I've been here for 2 years.
with Amdari.
No, with in Canada.
Oh, you've been in Canada for 2 years. Okay, that's
Yes.
fine. Okay, so that's fine. So before Standard Bank, then UBA. So currently, you're looking at getting into what career path?
Business analysis.
Okay, BA. Okay, so BA. So now you could use all these your experiences. I know you're not doing BA in Standard Bank or you're not doing BA in UBA.
No.
Let's say you're doing BA with Amdari. But now in your CV, everything has to be BA. Okay,
Okay.
everything has to be BA related. Okay, so if somebody asks you questions around this, now let me tell you the trick. I learned this from another recruiter because, like I said, I do a lot of recruitment, not a lot, but I do recruitment. Okay, so the recruiter said something, and ever since then they're stuck. He said, "I know people that don't have experience. People that don't have experience. It's easy for you to decode people that don't have experience. You see, the recruiter is going to ask you a couple of questions. That's situational, 5 situational based questions. They're going to ask you 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say 5 questions during the interview. You see, what people do that people that go, that do bridge camps or people that don't have experience, they'll probably off the top of their head, they would have like 2, 3 experiences that they would use during that interview. 2, 3 projects that they worked on, and that's what they would use. So you see, when the person asks the first question, they use one experience. They ask the second question, they use another experience to answer the question. They ask a third question. The person now say that, oh, that first experience that I was talking about, I used it again. In that experience, yes. In that, I did it again. In this, I did something similar. Okay, have you worked with a difficult boss? They use this word. In this experience now, have you developed a place where you communicated technical stuff to non-technical stakeholders? You say in this place where you deal with something that was difficult. In that same place, yes, I did explain non-technical stuff to technical people. They ask you the first one, you use the second one again to answer this one. This person does not have experience, has no experience. So if you're the kind of person that you are reducing experience during an interview, it's clear you don't have any experience. It's very clear you don't have any experience. So please, for every question that they give you, please use new experiences. So I tell most people, the story that you should have at the back of your head when you're going for every interview, story, basically this kind of story, this is a story, this story, okay? The number of story that you should have for every interview that you go for, it's a minimum 5. Say you don't even prepare, you should have at least 5 juicy stories that you can tell people. 5 at the very minimum. You should have 5 experiences, juicy ones, nice ones that you can use to bubble them very well. Now, Angela, the only way you can build confidence is by trying. You can't sit down the house and say that, okay, I want to run 5K. Okay, I want to jog. I want to run 5K. I want to do my first 5K. You might not be able to achieve 5K for the first run that you run. Okay, but if you do that consistently for a week, you're running 2K today, you run 2K, 3K, you run 3.5, you run 2K. In like 2 weeks, you're likely going to run the 5K if you're consistent over time. So this confidence that you're looking for, it's not going to come from inactions or not going for interviews. It's going to interviews and actually doing your best. Okay, either you flop or you don't flop. Just going there to do it. Okay, and that's when you start to see that, okay, it's not more than a yes or no. It's either they say, okay, yes, we're moving to the next level, or no, we're not proceeding with you. It's no more than that. There is no third one that says that we'll come and arrest you in your house. Okay, or we'll come and arrest you. Okay, so just try.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it. All right, so I'll say put yourself for every role that you're going into, have a minimum of 5 experiences and put yourself in that situation. All right, so if you don't like these experiences, please, you can always rewrite it. You can always come back and say that I want something that is in line with reporting in Excel. Okay, come up with an experience in the banking industry, using Excel as a reporting tool because they use Excel. Okay, as a reporting tool. Okay, reporting using Excel. Okay, so I'll probably put Excel there. So it's going to use Excel now, come up with an experience that uses Excel for reporting and all that. So it's going to turn it around. Okay, see, in my previous role as a financial analyst in the retail banking division of a mid-sized financial institution, I was responsible for preparing monthly financial performance reports for our branch network. So yours can be loan. You can actually switch it to loan. You can do whatever you want to do to monitor, to whatever the case is. So, like I said, situations are usually put more danger, put more fear into it. Okay, and see how it works. Okay, so that's basically how you can come up with experiences, even if you've not done that thing before. Come up with something, tailor it to yourself, talk about it, as if it's your own, and go about it. And that's it. The reason why I'm saying all this, it might look as though, do I need to do all these malicious things to get a job? 100% yes. That's the first aspect. The key thing here is when you get a job, half of this thing that they say you need to know how to do, half of them you're not doing anything. Half, you're not going to do half of the things that they say they need you to do. Oh, create OPEX. Oh, create this, create that. You should be able to visualize using your handshake. When I handshake you, you should be able to report based off that. In real sense, in real work, it doesn't work. Like 70% of the roles that are there, maybe you do 30% out of it. So because just get the job first of all. Get the job first of all, then upskill, learn. I mean, if you can take out time to learn and do all these things that we're doing, when you get a job, there's no way you will not sit down after work every single day, an extra 2 hours to learn more about the role itself. There's no way that's something I've always learned. Okay. All right. So you're going to be fine 100%. So these are the 2 questions, situational based questions. Tell me about yourself, which is using the SEAT approach, skill, experience, achievement, traits, and tie it back to the role. Then we have the STAR technique for situational based question, situation, task, action, and result. And that's basically it. Okay. So does that make sense, guys? Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Okay, fantastic, beautiful. So let me I think I have 2 more questions in there. Raymond, is it IODG or Raymond now? I'm not sure. But let me go with Raymond first. I think I had spoken.
Okay, hi, thank you very much. So my question is based on, when you said we need to do a little research on whoever is going to interview us. I think I find that very tasking because there was a time I was scheduled for an interview, but I didn't even know when I applied for the job again. When I was told that I'll be having an interview, I went to look for when I applied for the job to see when it was. I couldn't find it. I couldn't even find the job description or anything again. But one thing I did that actually worked for me was to go and look at my CV and study it thoroughly. And that really helped me because I was able to get a job afterwards. But so my question is this: like, if is there any other thing that we can do if in case we are unable to know who's gonna interview you? Because for me, I'm a data analyst, so I know that whatever questions they're gonna ask is gonna be based on anything that has to do with the tools, the techniques that has to do with data. So most times I really go well with the interview. So the question is, are there better ways to maybe know whoever is going to interview. Like you said, the quick thing is very good. I mean, it's something that you can use to soften the interview. But I just wanted to know, are there better ways to like,
Okay, know the interviewer.
yeah, know the interviewer? Because most times it's not the HR, it might be the team you're gonna be working with. Sometimes it might not
Yes.
be the team you're gonna be working with, might be some people, some different people entirely. So I just wanted
Yes.
to know, is there a better way to go about that?
All right. So there are three ways, I'll say three ways. Number one is the email that they sent to you would have the email of the name of the person. Most times, I would say about 80% of the time, the email will contain the name of the person that's going to be interviewing you, or there will be a copy of that email. Okay, so you can easily just get that name, go on LinkedIn, and search the person. Simple as that. That's the first way. Secondly, the other thing that you could do also is if the name is not attached to it, okay, go to the group, go to the company on LinkedIn. Okay, go to the company on LinkedIn. Take for example, this organization. I'm looking at financial analyst. Okay, okay. So what I would say look at now is I'll go to the organization. Okay, I'll go to people and I'll look for finance. Anything that has to do with finance. There are 1,800 associated staff. This is a big organization. So finance. Okay. So look at finance, anything that has to do with finance. So now I can see the finance director. This is Aaron Santiago, CM. All right. This is somebody that might, if you are interviewing for this role, this is likely somebody that would interview you. Okay. So looking at Santiago, shit. Finance director, critical mass. Before that was director of finance. He has been there for just about a year plus. So he was director of finance for Figure One, and the guy has been doing this for a very long time. All right, so this is good. Okay, so I can look at his post, free view post, to see what he has done in the past couple of years, and so on and so forth. Another thing you could also use to prepare yourself for interviews is the organization. They have finance people in there, correct? They have finance professionals. This is SVP, senior vice president, I'm guessing, for this. So global VP, we have I'm just looking for people within finance department, senior financial manager. So looking at Joanna, Joanna basically is a senior financial manager, somebody I might likely be working alongside with or doing some kind of work with. Okay, so we find out that Joanna doesn't put job description there. Okay, so that's a good thing. So that's part of what I was telling you guys. Don't put any job description. I was able to do it. Don't put it. It is not necessary. All right, just put the title. Ensure the title aligns with whatever you're going into. And that's it. Okay, so looking at Joanna, let's look at the experienced financial professional skill in forecasting, financial accounting analysis, MBA, CP, and Big Four public accounting experience, financial. So she's worked with maybe the likes of KPMG or Deloitte or any one of them. But essentially that's how you can easily get to know people in your department or people that might potentially interview you. It gives you some kind of comfort, essentially, to a very large extent. Okay, so I don't know if this answers your question, Raymond.
Yeah, sure, it does. It does.
Yeah. All right. All right. Any other question, IODG? Any? Your hand is still up. I'm not sure.
No, is it my hand still up? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm okay. Already answered. Yeah, thank you.
All right, very good. Okay, so I mean those are like the two major questions, and that's the best way to answer those questions. Okay, just a key takeaway for you guys. Please, all the fancy stuff that you've done in your past experience, they are fantastic. They are brilliant. I mean, I know it's easy for you to want to go back to the things that you've done in your past experience, but is it truly necessary for the role that you're going into? If it's not related or it's not in tune, please revamp. Okay, you're not that person anymore. You are somebody new entirely. Okay, and talk about how you have your experiences tailored to that company. And the best way for you to do that is using ChatGPT to come up with these experiences and take them as your own. and get a job. When you get a job, trust me, like I said, majority of the things you're going to be doing there are things that you can do 100%. And if you can't do it, you'll learn on the job. Literally, that's what they say, on the job learning. Okay. So that's what I'd say. Okay. I think that somebody else doing the other question around using CV Matchly AI, correct? Do you see it with me?
Yes, I am. Sorry, I was speaking. I didn't know I had muted. I was still muted. Yeah. So, the process as to is it? My question since yesterday is this: that do we have to job search on LinkedIn to be able to link our CV on CV Matchly? Because I noticed
No,
that you were putting the jobs from LinkedIn.
anywhere. So any job board really. So Indeed.
Yeah, I use Indeed, Brooks Trade, and all that.
Okay. So Indeed, let's take a look at Indeed. Where's Indeed? Okay. It's the same thing for every company. Okay. Is it business analyst what you're looking for? Or
Project
is it
management.
project management? Sorry, mix it up. Okay, so the same thing. If I'm interested in this senior IT business analyst role, just come here. Sorry, let me log in. Just give me a second. Okay, so it's extracted, same thing. So this is a senior business analyst. This is the job description. So analyze. So it works on most of the job boards. Okay, majority of them it works on their job board. So this is Indeed. So if I do my analysis and I optimize, you'll see it will appear on my dashboard. But okay, this is 20% and 28% is poor. Okay, so I'll need to optimize it. So if I want to optimize, I just click on optimize and then I generate optimize CV, then it does it. So if I go back to my dashboard now, go to the dashboard and I go to optimizations. So I think Raymond asked something about, all about if I forget. So that's where CV Matchly comes in play. Okay, CV Matchly helps you do all that. Okay, so helps you keep track of all your job applications. So even if you've forgotten at what point did I apply for this job? You see this is senior business analyst role. Okay, the one I just optimized. So you see it's Indeed in there, and this available, and I can view the job. I can download the CV I used to apply for the job, and it generates a cover letter. Okay, so like I said, in the future we're going to be having like an interview prep tool where you can prep for interviews. So if I have an interview coming up, you will see a button here that will say prepare for interview, or you can just come here and select one of the jobs that you want to prepare for an interview. So if I want to say select job optimization, so if I want to prepare for this interview, okay, I can click here to use for interview. So interview preparation, and it's going to prepare you for interviews. Okay, so if I say easy, it's going to come up with a list of questions that you need to prepare, and you can actually talk about this. The client is planning to implement this is a potential question, implement a new cloud call center system, Amazon Connect, Genesys Cloud. As a senior IT business analyst, what are some of the initial activities you would undertake to understand the business current state and their high-level needs for a new system? So you can type in your answer, okay, and then it will grade you based on that. But another thing you could do also is like a live interview, okay? So this is where you have to talk. Okay, so if you're done with the mock, okay, and you want to go live, this is what you can also do. But this is still in demo. We're still working and perfecting. So I'm not sure you can hear it. I don't think I can share this tab. Okay, I can't share it, so there's no point. Okay, so
Sorry, Femina. I want to understand something. So once I put my CV through CV Matchly and it optimizes my CV, so it allows me to download the CV for me to submit, or I submit through CV Matchly AI, or how does it work?
Okay, so once you tailor your resume, I wouldn't want you guys to go ahead with just apply and using that, applying with the CV that you get from CV Matchly just yet, anyways. So what it does is help you tailor, so you can copy and paste. That's what you can do with the format I shared with you already. Okay, so just copy the whatever you have there, just copy and paste it on your template CV and Control save as a new document, then send out. Okay.
Okay.
But don't just take the ones for CV Matchly and go ahead to just use. That's something that we're still working on, and that's where you have the CV editor. So we're currently working on that, and that should be live in the next, I'll say, few weeks. I'll say in the next 2 weeks, where you can easily just download an actual document, an actual CV structure, okay, that you can use. So currently, it's just write up that you are getting from us from CV Matchly. All right, makes sense.
Thank you. Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much. All right. When you catch is the last question I'm going to take, and then we can call it a day for now.
Okay. Thank you once again, Femina. I've been able to actually applied for a job yesterday night using the CV Matchly.
Okay.
Right. So went through the process and all of that, and like you said, I actually had to copy back to Word, edit and all of that. So, but again, as a test ground, I uploaded it on ChatGPT, because when I uploaded it on CV Matchly, it was 78% matched to the job. And so when I looked at the analysis and all of that, quite good. So when I did optimization, downloaded and all that, so like I said, I needed to just like another test run to see the percentage match, but now on ChatGPT. So it gave me 73%, which was beautiful. So I just had to tweak one or two things and I sent it out. But here is the thing. Now, I tried, doing that directly from the company's website, but I couldn't. Just like, of course, the JD will automatically attach if you are on any of the job boards. I couldn't get that result directly from the company's website.
You couldn't get what? Sorry, come again.
That is, on the job boards, when you open any of the JDs, probably any of the your interested jobs, automatically it will attach on the JD will attach on the on CV Matchly, right? And then you start the process of optimization. But if I'm to apply directly from the company's website, do you understand my question now? Okay, here it is. I'm applying through Indeed, okay? And I'm able to automatically, when I click on CV Matchly, automatically the JD, it's uploaded on CV Matchly. And then I optimize my CV. But if I go to the, say, XYZ Limited, and that's actually the company, that advertised for that position, I am not able to, the same way I will, have those, the JD automatically uploaded on CV Matchly. I'm not able to, get that done. Hello?
I think maybe he lost signal or something.
Yeah, most likely.
Yes.
Do you guys understand my question? Okay, Uchechukwu, do you understand my question?
Yes, please, can you
Yeah,
just go
I do.
again
I
while
do
I check
understand your question.
on
What
my
you mean is
Femina?
that if you're trying to use it on the company website, it doesn't work on like the job boards, right?
Yes.
I think I get a question. So it's mostly like, it works on the job board, but when you now move to the company website, it doesn't automatically attach the JD.
Exactly. So I have to, you now need to copy manually the same way, of course, you would ordinarily would have copied, and pasted it on ChatGPT.
Actually, don't forget that, most of these job boards, they have specifics on the kind of formats they want you to submit. Some is JPEG, some is PDF, some is Word. Do you get? So because I found out that sometimes when I'm uploading to some job sites, it will tell me it won't accept it, and then later I'll just see a prompt that will say, give me the options as to the kind of format that is acceptable to them. So I'll now go on my document and then change it to either if it's PDF that they want or JPEG or whatever it is that they want. So
okay. Yeah, no, don't. That's not what I mean.
oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, what I mean is this. The same way, just like he demonstrated, where